Hey, it's been a little bit now. I've been gone for a while, and I just wanted to talk about. Oh my gosh, what happened to this game? Whoa. So as you can tell, ABA has changed considerably, and the 5 people watching this, wow. You know, I was working on a few videos, and one of them was going to be reviewing every single One Piece character, and if you can guess who's at the bottom of that list, you can just look at the title of the video. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying LaLa is the best anymore because I did not want to make a video on him when he was at his peak power just because I knew that was getting patched out, not patched, but nerfed immediately because he was the best character the previous update, but he still does he still does show us a humongous problem with ABA, and we're going to talk about his kit today because he's a massive problem, like a humongous problem, and it's kind of his gimmick as a whole, and that's kind of sad. He's really cool. I think he's fun to play sometimes, but it's just, I don't know. Because when he's in his domain, potentially best character, but when he's out of it, you know, he's kind of a weaker. That kind of makes sense, right? You know, he's going to start out as a weaker character. He has less good moves in his kit until he uses his room. That's a problem with the room itself, but before we jump to that, we are going to start with a we're going to in-depth discussion about this character, his frame data, as I'm not sure if I did the frame data right anyways. It's a 60 FPS, that's what my Rework runs at, and the recording equipment runs at 60 frames as well, so I counted the frames that way. So if I did it wrong, I'm sorry. This is the first time doing this. I'll fix it later if it is, but yeah, we're going to jump into LaLa. Interesting character to talk about. I would discuss Guts, but Guts is pretty boring in this game. You know, that's fair, I guess. He's a close range person, but okay, moving on. Who cares? Who cares? I don't care. Do you care? I don't think so. You're just here for YBA. But yeah, we'll be doing YBA sometime too, but doesn't matter. I'll talk about the actual stuff at the end of the video. Let's start with the actual video here. So starting with LaLa. LaLa is a character that would have increased M1 range, but after they changed that and reduced everyone's to the same amount, he has standard M1 range. And just for reference, I got the M1 range to be a 15 frame windup for the hit, so we'll be using that as a basic example, and hopefully I can find places to show gameplay clips, but just for fair warning, I was playing the game at 3 in the morning, and I was getting some laggy matches, so a lot of combos didn't work, but that's just ABA for you. So if these combos don't work for better ping, then I'm sorry, but hey, that's all I got right now. Rook's in training mode. I don't feel like playing any more ABA today, because ABA is a game you can only like muster for like an hour. It's like a poison, dude. You know, you play it, it's, I don't know, you think it'd get easier, but okay, it's not like a poison at all. It's just, I don't even want to refer to it as candy, because it's not that good, you know. It's fun. It's fun. It's a good jump. But alright, starting with his whole gimmick is, so he has 2 moves he can use without using the room at all, but if he wants to get access to his 3rd move, he needs to open his room, and he doesn't have to be in it. So we're going to be starting with his 2 moves he can use outside of the room. It's Slash. Here's its data right here. I'm putting it up here. Not a great move. You know, here's how long the animation is. You see that right there? Yeah. That is extremely reactable. You can block that any time of the day. It's really just a standard move. You can catch someone off guard, I guess, and a combo starts, but it's really obvious to block. It's kind of wonky sometimes. Sometimes you can go past their block if you're close enough, and it'll hit the back for some reason, so you get a combo that way, but it's not consistent at all. Next is Counter Shock. You know, not a bad move either. That's the exact same windup, so you're probably not going to be guard breaking anyone, but the animation is a little less obvious because Slash is extremely obvious, the animation, but Counter Shock is a guard break. You know, you're probably going to hit this move. They both have hyper armor, but Counter Shock, you're going to get countered or you're just going to get free 22 damage. No, not horrible, but again, much better than LaLa's previous situations, but again. And so now that's the moves he can use outside of the room without using the room at all. So as you can tell already, kind of a bad character. You know, there's someone that's still worse than him in the base kit. You know, thinking All Might. You know, whew. But yeah, room has a humongous problem. It's huge risk, potentially no reward, because you place it out, it has a 40 frame startup, so you can catch anyone using a room using Slash, or I guess you want to use Counter Shock. Another main problem though is any move that can combo start within that, and the biggest problem with that is Rush, because you can double jump with a room and dodge a lot of moves, but moves like Rush just shut you down. And if it's a base Goku, you're just dead, because he has 100-0 in base without the Kaioken, so you're going to have a harder time. It is a huge problem. You can start with a room as soon as the match starts, and if you place the room and you don't actually want to fight in the room, which you should be, you can use the talk move. It brings up the 3 like rocks. But if you do it in the room, so If you do it in the room, you get 6 rocks. If you don't do it in the room, you get 3. But you have to have the room up. But I literally just do the room. Like, go in the room and use the rocks and then walk out. You'll be fine. Generally, you don't have to worry about getting punished for this move because it lifts you up sometimes with the rocks. And you can actually be annoying, and that's a major problem with this character I'll talk about later. But yeah, you can do that. You can get on top of them. They can't get you unless you're not blocking and they rush you. You know, typical Dragon Ball things. I will be talking about that roster soon. That is an interesting roster. But yeah, so the moves Slash and Counter Shock, again, they share the same moveset as the other one, so if you use them, it'll be on cooldown. But yeah, room, humongous problem. It honestly has limited range. Here's the range right here. It's quite limited. It's kind of a problem, but hey, you know, it is what it is. Now, while you're in the room, you do have, it does turn your moveset into something extremely better, and that's mainly because one move almost has 0 flaws. It has literally 0 flaws if you act like it doesn't matter if it's in the room. But starting off, your room is replaced with a frame 1 move that gives you hyper armor. It doesn't give you iframe, sadly. It gives you a speed boost, and you can swap places with them. That is Shambles. Shambles did downgrade from the original version, but hey, a frame 1 move that just gets you out of the place, not bad at all. And in 2s and 3s, if someone's in your domain and they're getting comboed in there, swap them out, you're good. Great 2s move. Next is Gamma Knife with a 46 frame windup. Humongous problem, but it has hyper armor at least, so you're not going to be comboed again. But it has 36 damage. Pretty good damage, honestly. You do a lot of damage if you can get them in your room. It's a good combo end, and its cooldown is relatively short right there, so not a horrible move, but it's just a combo ender. Don't be throwing it on neutral, because the reason you want to throw it in neutral is because you have a move. This move is what makes him an absolute monster. Now, you could fix this by having him do low damage output with all his other moves, but as I've said before, he has a move that does 36 damage and one does 60. So if you can combo those together, they just die, you know. Here's the combo here, kind of goated, you know, I'm not gonna lie, kind of saucy. But Amputate has a mild windup, but it doesn't matter. It goes through iframes. It does not matter at all. I mean, I guess you can counter it. It does 25 damage, which is, honestly, it doesn't even do damage. It can combo, but it goes through block, it combo starts, it combo extends. It's auto aim because you have to be close enough, basically. Because if you're not close enough, it just turns into a typical Slash, and you do not want that. But still, fantastic move. It is what makes this character overpowered, and that's what deters people from going into your room. But before we go into that, let's go on to his awakening. His awakening is something interesting, and it is surprisingly weaker than his base form. In a way. Not completely, but it is. He's kind of nerfed in his mode, and that makes sense. Here's the big reason why, is because the room follows you now. There's no downside of using the room now because it's constantly active. You don't have to use it at all. It's always active, and if it's so big, it doesn't even matter. Most stages it covers up, and if it doesn't, you have Shambles. Shambles can teleport you to a person from any range as long as it's in the domain, and you're already faster than people because you have the teleporting dashes, so bam, you can get to anyone around the map anytime. Shambles is faster, I believe, has hyper armor, it combo extends because you teleport right to them, so any down slam, you got that, or any up tilts, you can do that too. Shambles is a fantastic move. Toch, the one with the rock, is generally, it's I don't know, it's a blockable move, so that's fair, but if you block it, you aren't so fully punished. You get a rock. It's one rock that does 30 damage, and it's horrible. The rock is absolutely abysmal. It knocks away, and half the time it just implodes. It just implodes. It just implodes. Look at this. It just blows up. It's horrible. The big rock is horrible, but I guess the only benefit of it is hey, you didn't get punished for using your move. You get a little something. But I recommend immediately using that move to put it back on cooldown, because Talk can be used in combos and can combo extend. Because if you get someone when they're not blocking, it down slams if it's pointed away from you, and if it goes towards you, it flings them. But go around this by just down slamming them anyway. Some cases you can catch them by just sprinting to them and teleporting them, while you get down slammed away, and you can still catch them. And if you're not confident enough, you can use Shambles. Shambles can immediately teleport to them as they get down slammed. It's combo stuff. Great stuff. But again, gonna be kind of hard because you can't guard break them that well. But here's another way to help that. Your final M1 has extended reach and it guard breaks. Obviously, it's your final hit. And that's fantastic. So they have the issue of holding block, but if they see you M1ing, stop blocking, obviously. Unless, if you see them blocking, you have Radio Knife. And this is supposed to be, what is it? It's supposed to be Amputate. In a way, it's better. In a way, it's worse. On higher pings, you cannot combo extend with it. Huge problem. But that's about its only issue. If the guard breaks, it's a guaranteed combo as well, I believe. It has a 45 frame windup, but that does not matter. The hitbox is absolutely humongous, and it can hit multiple people. Multiple. So if your team has a rush or anything and down slams, boom, free hit. It is the overpowered move in his combo, and his entire toolkit in his awakening. Now this combo starts on better ping. It goes through block. It doesn't iframe anymore though. That is the downside. So generally you want to awaken second, just because in the room you can hit them when they're awakening with your amputate. Bam, you get a free combo and you can under zero. So hey, wow, good stuff. On a longer awakenings, you have better chances because you can get talked out. I am discussing too much about things you should do. But yeah, radio knife, hyper armor, combo extends, an okay cooldown, but that's okay. These 3 moves, not bad. Again, it's not as good as amputate because amputate just has a much more consistent combo starter. Besides that, we're going on to mess. Oh, this move is bad. It is horrible. It has a 20 frame startup. I wouldn't say that's absolutely horrible, but it is completely reactable, as you can tell with like the slashes and all that. It has an incredibly short range. Most LaLas aren't going to want to get up and close because they can just use radio knife and TP and get the combo extended. It is 10 damage. It has horrible range. It has a 15-second cooldown, not horrible. It does insta-kill if low enough. This is like 10% though, and generally it doesn't matter by that point. Your law, you have like a move that immediately kills you, an extended M1 range. It's a really bad move honestly. It does help with the 100 to 0, that is his only benefit, but ways to fix this, I don't know. I don't know if it should be fixed. He's generally a really good character right now. I wouldn't say the best, but he has a humongous problem, and that's what we're moving on to next. And I'll be using gameplay to show this. This is the 3 a.m. gameplay, so don't judge me, okay? It's 3 a.m., alright? Horrible gameplay, I get it. It's okay though. Stuff happens. This dude's probably in Asia, playing some ABA. So the way you counter LaLa in general is don't go in his room. You just don't go in his room. That's all you gotta do. And if you have a move that can punish his room. And if you're Goku, you can 100 to 0 him. If you're Yuji, you're gonna have a harder time after the nerf, but you can still catch him if you try your M1s, But generally, you can punish on room with almost any move, and it's a free combo start, and you can kill him. So that moves on to what LaLas would probably and most likely do, but we're still going to talk about how to counter him. So yeah, just do not go in his room at all. Just don't, if you don't have the opportunity. If you want to rush him, that's just going to play into his hand, honestly. His room gets smaller and smaller, so wait out the room. You got to play like a cringe bag, and that's sad. That's the problem with this character, is it all comes down to the room, and the room decreases in size. So you're not getting punished for letting it sit there, and inevitably, when he runs out to go fill it up again, because it shrinks over time, that's when you get him again. It's a free combo start. Room is a humongous, massively punishable move. It just happens. It's room, dude. Like, I haven't watched the anime. I don't know if it's like that, but come on, man. Like, I don't know. Something has to be done here. It is a huge problem. Now, what do you do with a LaLa? Honestly, if the player's aggressive, that's good for you. A lot of the moves you can double jump and use to the room, but you can still be punished off that if they're smart enough. If they're too good, you can just, again, if they're aggressive, you can just place your room while they're running towards you, and if they start fighting in your room, you're gonna win. It's an easy win. You just use amputate, new combo extend, and you win. Now, if they're running, this is when issues start to arise for your character's kit in general, because they won't go in your room. That's what they're gonna do. It's smart. Your best bet is you most likely won't be able to get the 100 to 0 combo anymore, because you have to set up your combo in general with the rocks moves. So either you can just place a room willy-nilly in a smaller map and use the rocks and try to combo your way back to them, or you have to just somehow catch them with your amputate move. It just comes down to that. That's the problem with LaLa right now. You just have to play around that room, because you become a generally bad character without that room. And that's his whole gimmick, but it leads to really boring gameplay, and it's really annoying to fight against. Again, I'm very glad that he has a buff now, but before it was still fightable when he was in his room. He was still a really horrible character, and the reason why it was okay then, because you just don't play LaLa. You just don't play LaLa then. So yeah, general problems here. Whatever videos left, I'm gonna make a horrible montage out of it, I guess, just for something entertaining. I probably used it for the video in general, but that's about it with LaLa. There's not too much you can do. It's just the room. It's an annoying character per se, and would be the strongest if he had his previous buffs back. He's up there. He's definitely A to S tier just because of that room. He's so strong, and if someone's playing aggressive enough, you can get them. You can just 100 to 0 them easy enough. But yeah, that's all for you, and that's about it for the video right here. You know, there might be some gameplay sections coming up or before this. I don't know. I might cut this out, but yeah, I haven't been uploading a lot. I've been busy with a lot of stuff. I was a lot more busy a few months ago, but this summer has been a little draining, but you know, it happens. And yeah, I hopefully get this video done today. I've done getting the actual frame data and doing everything for each move. It took a lot of time. So yeah, hopefully this comes out well. I gotta get this out before today's over, before 12. Thank you. Have a good day, and I appreciate it. And yeah. Definitely YVA coming back, cause yeah, you know it is. Come on, man, come on, just yeah. All right, have a good day. Bye.